It is officially the month of September, and football is back, my friends. Football is back. God, it feels good. It feels good. We got a lot to talk about. Balls go down to Atlanta and take care of Syracuse. Bama fans are just in shambles. They're going irate. They don't know what to do with themselves. Week 1 overreactions. We'll get into that too. Football's back, baby. Football's back. Let's talk. Austin, we were both down in Atlanta this past weekend. I had fun. Did you have fun? Were you surprised by the way we played?
Was I surprised? No, but it really met. They did exactly what I hoped they would do. That was kind of my hope. Like all the stuff I thought I'd see, I saw. Defense could have been a little better. I wish we were a little healthier on defense, but overall, I was pretty happy with our performance.
What do you think about Joey?
I think it was probably the best QB play I've seen since Hendon Hooker was in the pocket.
Yeah,
This
I
is
saw a tweet that came out. And I think it was I can't remember who it was, but he said you can't teach what he just did.
mhm.
You can't teach those instincts. You can't teach. And he was, man. You said Hendon Hooker, but yeah, his instincts in the pocket. He seemed calm back there. And when we did the whole autograph signing with Miles Kitselman and Joey Aguilar, we said it seemed like they've known each other for years. It seemed like he's been playing that offense for years. Like it's
Mhm.
crazy. It's just he looked so comfortable back there. He looked so comfortable. He looked so just at ease, and he made stuff look easy. He didn't make stuff look difficult. And then you turn on the TV, and the whole world of Tennessee fandom was watching at freaking midnight to watch Nico play because Joey had a great game, and buddy Nico looked like dog water. And anyone can say whatever they want to say, but everyone was happy to watch him play like crap, including me. I was so
And
happy. I was rooting against him so hard. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care. I love it. I love that our quarterback played a lot better than him, and he looked like crap.
that kid and his family took a good situation and turned it into the biggest bleep show you'll ever see in your life.
Mhm.
This was but going back to let's talk about us first. The Joey, I was very impressed. It just there's certain things that you saw from him that I hadn't seen in a quarterback in a little while at UT. He would read through through his progressions, throw catchable balls. Yes, some of them were high, some of them weren't perfectly on the money, but he didn't. Unlike Joe Milton, he didn't throw a million miles per hour, and unlike Nico, he didn't throw them over their heads. He
Mhm.
gave every receiver an opportunity to catch those passes, and uh, and and then operated under pressure. He didn't get sacked one time. He had 2 touchdowns on 3rd and goal, passing touchdowns on 3rd and goal, which red zone efficiency we were awful at it last year. We settled for field goals so much of the time last season on 3rd and goal or any goal line situation.
Mm.
And I was just thoroughly impressed with how he worked through the pocket, how he just it was very evident to me. This is a 24-year-old guy who has played a lot of football. He's done this before. He can improvise. He can just do things. There's just, I mean I can be a little critical. He didn't. I thought he should have dove on one of those runs. He's gonna definitely have to learn that in the future because he's playing with a lot bigger football players than he's used to
Mhm.
back in Boone. But I was just thoroughly impressed with how he just operated. It honestly, here's my hot take. And we got Faison coming in, and I am a fan of Faison from all I've seen through high school highlights. It's really great to have a guy that's been through it all and is experienced at QB.
Is that going to become more of a trend of Josh Heupel? Do you think? I mean, I know we got all these quarterbacks coming in, Faison, and we got McIntyre, we got Murray, we got all those guys. But it seems like a trend with Josh Heupel right now, at the time that he's been in Tennessee, as getting a transfer quarterback seems to be the best option for him, at least. I don't know, because you have Hendon Hooker, and then you have Joe Milton, and now you have Joey Aguilar. They're really the only quarterback that started that was his was Nico Iamaleava, and he's not even here anymore because he's just not a very good quarterback. So I I, I I don't know if it's going to trend that way or just it's just we just haven't hit that guy yet out of high school. But I do like having the veteran quarterback right now. especially in this offense in this day and time with Tennessee. How giddy were you when you saw Staley catch that 73-yard bomb?
Dude, it was just like getting water in the desert after all we saw last year. I mean, how many times we would make just didn't
Mm-hmm.
perform well in those situations. It was so refreshing just to see him nail that pass, and it was even better once I saw the replay, and like it was one of the best deep balls we've thrown in years. He gave no one opportunity to catch that besides the receiver. It
Mm-hmm.
was absolutely on the money. It's just man, this guy. I'll tell you though, he will Joey football, Joey Aguilar, he will have a game or two that I'll be telling my grandkids about here. I truly believe that. He seems like that kind of guy that's just gonna turn it on against a certain team, and it could be Alabama, it could be Georgia, it could be Florida. He's gonna have one of those performances you'll remember forever.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually. He just seems like that kind of guy.
Rhonda comments on YouTube. Joey wanted to be a fireman that tells you how he is wired. Well, Rhonda, Joey definitely has put a fire out, and it's called Nico. Sent his ass over to the West Coast. But did you see? I love like when Staley caught that pass and his dad quoted the tweet that of look at this view of this pass is beautiful, and then his dad quote tweeted that and said, "Man, I literally passed out. Oh my God, proud of my son. Keep building on this." That's what a parent should be like, right?
Yeah.
That's what a parent should be like, when your kid does something well, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice to see. It's nice to see. He's a very likable man, Brian Staley, Staley's dad. Like he's just a very likable man. But that's it was awesome, man, because he just put it right in the daggone breadbasket. Like he handed it off to him. Didn't even have to break stride. Didn't overthrow him. Didn't put him out of position. He just kept running and it just ran straight into the ball, and it was beautiful. And I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But I do agree with you that I think that Joey Aguilar can have one of those games against one of these big teams that you're going to go like, oh my gosh, kind of like he did at App State when he played North Carolina, and he just looked really freaking good. So I agree with you. I agree with you on that one. So Tennessee takes down Syracuse 45-26.
What
Talk
do you think
about deep.
about the running backs?
I thought it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they look
I
fine.
I saw a lot of Bishop. I mean, Bishop looks like he's ready to build off last season. And Star Thomas, man, when he on that screen pass, my God, that was that was Bishop on that. But anyways, when he improvised to just basically turn into a wide receiver on that third and goal,
Yeah.
I was just like, I like a guy that kind of thinks like that. I like a guy that can, go past what he's told to do a little bit, and improvise and work with his quarterback on a play like that. I really like that kid. And another thing I want to talk about is the offensive line. This offensive line, we didn't have David Sanders. We're missing a starter, and we go out there and it was one of the best. That's the best our offensive line looked. They looked better than it did any time last year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was super. Lance
No.
Hurd looks like he's changed completely as a player, and I gotta give props to Glenn Ellerby. He's gotten a lot of hell, especially last season, and trust me, he
Mm-hmm.
deserves it. He couldn't. I mean, we've not started one guy until now that he developed himself, and now we got Jesse Perry. I guess Sanders technically qualifies as that,
Mm-hmm.
and Umarov got the start in place of in place of Sanders. I was just thoroughly. I mean, I don't think there was any time where Joey was like in serious danger. Like it was
No.
a clean pocket most of the game. It was a great
Well,
O line.
the pocket looks a whole lot cleaner. Like what you said about how he can improvise. Like Star Thomas can improvise. He's an older player. Joey's an older player. He improvises. He's like, oh, the pocket's breaking down. Let me roll out. Let me get out of harm's way before it gets too bad. Smo Diggity comments and says, big thing to me is he seems coachable. Joey pays attention and tries to fix mistakes. Only concern is some of the sailing screen passes. I don't think the sailing screen passes is a really concern. It seemed like he was just kind of jittery to start the game, and it seemed like that kind of faded away after a little bit. But
Yeah,
I think it was more jitters than anything. Starting in a big time program,
I think he was just hyped. He was
Yeah,
just hyped up.
yeah. I think he was hyped up. But that's when you're that hyped up, you get you get ahead of yourself sometimes. But I don't think it was such a big concern. I don't think that's a
And
long-term concern. No, that could easily be fixed.
a lot of people are like, "Oh, we want to see a little more creativity." I think we held a lot back in this game. I think we're saving a lot of stuff for Georgia, like especially that 12 personnel. I think we'll see a lot more of that, a lot more stuff, a lot more stuff with the tight ends. I could see in the Georgia game. I'm really, I'm really interested to see what's going forward on this. It just, I don't know. It's such a refreshing thing coming from Nico because Nico, you felt like everything had to be dealt with kid gloves, and you're just trying to make it basically all simple. Everything's easy. Just try to simplify everything, and and just basically baby this motherfucker. It just I hated that. I hated that feeling. Like that's not how you should treat your quarterback. That I want to be able to feel like this is a grown man. We could try. That this guy can even help us. You know, like we shouldn't be looking at how we can make this easy on him. We should be making this like how we can make this hard on the defenses. I want to. I like this. I've always been a fan of starting older guys. Like, and Joey looks like I mean, if you just talk about QB playing the SEC, he looked better than Ty Simpson. He looked better than
Okay.
uh
I wanted to get to that. Like
Sellers.
you kind of yeah. I don't know about Sellers. Sellers,
He didn't look that good, man.
I thought he looked pretty good.
He had a great. The first drive was great.
Yeah, I mean, he did a lot of things in that game where you was like, "Oh crap, that was impressive." But I want to get to that point because we talked. Everything was about Arch Manning. Everything was about Ty Simpson. Everything was about Carson Beck. And Carson Beck, by the way, looked pretty damn good last night. He looked like he played for. Did you see the interview at the end of that game when they interviewed Carson Beck and he got emotional? Did you see that?
I hate that kid. They made me love football again, and they also gave me a boat ton of money.
Well, I know that, but like Carson Beck was probably one of the better quarterbacks on week 1, in my opinion. And I think Joey Aguilar
he overthrew a lot of guys, but whatever.
Okay, well, so did Joey Aguilar. But I think Joey Aguilar and Carson Beck, in my opinion, were the two more impressive quarterbacks. And the Notre Dame quarterback's pretty good too.
CJ,
but
whatever.
Yeah, out of all the quarterbacks through week 1 that were supposed to be those guys, they weren't those guys in week 1. The guys in week 1 are the ones we just mentioned. Joey Aguilar, Beck, Notre Dame's quarterback. Can't think of his name off the top of my head. They looked good. I think Sellers looked fine. But I think out of all the quarterbacks in the country, Joey Aguilar was one of the better ones that we watched in week 1.
And now we gotta preface this with saying Syracuse is definitely not a juggernaut. They were starting a 17-year-old at corner. It was but they weren't a scrub team like that. That's a team that last season beat Miami. Won 10 games last season. I mean, of course, they lost a lot of that, but it was still. I think they'll be a formidable team in the ACC. I could see them going 7-5. So
their coach
it's a neutral field. Yeah, it's a neutral field. I think that coach will go somewhere and really win. But yeah, across the country, I mean, it's hard to say about Garrett Nussmeier and Cade Klubnik because they were both playing two of the best defenses in the country. So in a real college football environment, in all the offense is still probably a little rusty. But I was pretty underwhelmed by both them. But even though, given the circumstances, it's a little more understanding. But I think Tommy Castellanos had a great weekend.
Yeah. Let's talk about Ty Simpson. Let's talk about that, man. I mean, we've talked about quarterbacks. We're getting on the topic of teams. I am enjoying this meltdown by these assholes known as Bama fans. I can't stand them. And this is the funnest thing to watch because last year I quote tweeted all these people that were like getting excited about this is different. This is a different vibe. It's a different feel. And they were doing all the things that you saw that like a Butch Jones team did, all the gimmicks stuff like social media posts. And every time they would post that, I would be like, this is phase number 1, and this is phase number 2. This is this phase, that phase, going through all the phases. And then they posted the brick by brick, and I was like, oh my God. They might be trying to troll Tennessee when they did that, but that is just, when they did that, I was like, it's over. This is done. And Bama fans are losing their mind. a message board from a Bama fan on one of the message boards I came across on Twitter. Fire DeBoer to go after the guy at Vandy. They're they're at the part where they're just randomly wanting to go after random coaches now. After their coach, you had to follow Saban, and I think DeBoer would have done well anywhere else besides Alabama. And I think DeBoer is going to be a train wreck for the rest of the year at Alabama. I think it's a train wreck happening.
I mean, okay, I'll own this. I thought they'd actually be good. That was a thing I went on the limb with. Just based on DeBoer saw a lot of success his second year at Washington. I actually thought Ty Simpson would be pretty good since he's been around a long time, but that was pretty horrific. And just the overall, my biggest takeaway from that game is how they got bullied. They do not look like one of the best rosters. Like that is by recruiting rankings. That's one of the best rosters, and like who's going to be drafted. That's one of the best rosters you can ask for. And they're straight up getting bullied by a team that went 2-10 last season. It's honestly unbelievable.
Alabama looked like the 2-10 team.
And I'm loving seeing all the Bama fans go into deep dives about how they got players getting DoorDash fast food at 2 a.m. night before game day. It is like I don't know. It's like it's a drastic thing though to go from Nick Saban, the ultimate drill sergeant, the ultimate like culture guy, like it's like going to the freaking army or something, playing for Alabama. Well, under him, it was a truly like it was a thing like that, and then you go. It was always going to be tough for the next guy because it's such an extreme going from that to whatever's different. And I do think Kalen DeBoer is a little West Coast, little lax, and it shows, man. I do think the culture there is an issue. I do think that is a big problem there. They don't have that same culture they used to. They have a lot of guys there who just think they play for Alabama, and that's good enough.
Exactly. It's the name on the front of the jersey because Alabama's been dominant for so long, and all these videos come out of all the Alabama players, like at practice they're like dancing and like messing around. Like Nick Saban, under Nick Saban, you didn't have any of that. Like you said, it was like a drill sergeant, and it is so funny to watch just team FSU. They beat the shit out of Alabama on the line of scrimmage. They beat the tar out of them, and it was so much fun to watch. And every Alabama fan in that stadium, the kid flipping off the camera. There was another video that came about after that kid flipped off the camera. There was another guy walking down the stairs after the game was over, and every FSU fan is doing the tomahawk chop right in his face, and he's flipping the camera off and everything. These fans do not know what to do, and it's the funniest thing to watch them melt to the ground. It is the funniest thing for them to actually come back down to earth and be like, hey, this is what happens sometimes. And they're not used to it, and it's the funniest thing to watch. And screw them all. I hate them all. I hope you suffer for eternity. I can't stand any one of you.
In 5 years, there will be way less Alabama fans than there currently are. I mean, there might be way less in the last 48 hours. But
I saw a tweet that said something like that from an Alabama fan that said, "You're about to find out who the real Alabama fans are."
Yeah,
that's a tweet from an Alabama account that I can't.
Here's the difference. Like, it was like a popular thing to be an Alabama fan. It was just an easy thing. You didn't have to think about it. Everyone knew your players' names. It was you always knew you're going to play the end of the year. You always knew your team was going to compete for the national title. But now, once that kind of element's taken out of the fact, you get Alabama fans who are a little bit like you and me, who are a little bit like crazier. And those people probably aren't losing their minds right now because they've been through this probably.
Yeah.
A lot of them. Or hell, I guess I wouldn't. If I was an Alabama fan, I would never have experienced this because I became a fan of football in 2009. But for a lot of them, they know how this goes. They've been through it. They remember hiring Saban. They remember building the greatest dynasty in the history of college football. They remember that. And you know what? It was always going to be a fall. Like, you do not reach the ultimate peaks of peaks and just like, oh, we're back at a similar peak 10 years later. No, that's not how it's going to work. You kind of got to fall. And this is a conference where you can fall pretty damn far.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I've told this story before on here.
we've
On
been
one
in
of
the bottom of it. We've been very bottom of it. We know what that's like.
yeah,
We went from national championship to. Ooh, you think we can beat Kentucky?
yeah, yeah,
I know they're
yeah.
starting a receiver, quarterback, and we couldn't beat Kentucky. But
Well, I mean, I've told this story on here before about this old man telling me one time when I was so mad about Tennessee football. I was talking to this random old guy, and he's like, "It's okay, son. It'll all circle back around one day." Is that wheel starting to turn right now?
yeah, I mean everything
Think so?
has its
Yeah.
phases. I mean, do I think it would have been a little different if they hired like Sark or Lane Kiffin? Maybe. I do think maybe it would be a little different because I think going from such an extreme to another extreme was a big factor in the fall off. I mean, what is the? I went through Alabama's schedule. It's pretty difficult when you take into account just the fact that they could lose. They can lose to anyone, really.
Yeah.
I mean, like obviously they can lose Tennessee. Obviously they can lose to LSU. Obviously they can lose to Auburn, but they can lose to Missouri. It wouldn't be the craziest thing in the world if they lost to Missouri. They'll probably lose South Carolina. They'll probably lose to Ole Miss. This is if that's the team they're throwing out there every single weekend, they might actually go 5-7. That is actually a possibility. That's a real world scenario. They still have Wisconsin on the schedule. I mean, good lord.
Yeah, and that's not an easy game. You're right, man. If they do come out and they play like they played this past weekend, they're screwed.
Or it could get worse.
It could get worse. It could
I
spiral
know
out of
how
control.
this works.
Yes,
Once you kind of start, once it starts snowballing, people stop giving a flip. Ask any Florida fan because I've seen Florida beat us, look like the best team in the world, and then go 4-8. So it definitely you can tumble even farther than that performance you just showed, and it's crazy with that kind of roster though to be doing that. I mean, in terms of recruiting talent, I think it's like number 1 or number 2 in the country, and it's just insane they're that bad. But it just shows.
Yeah, and on the topic of talent, I came across this tweet, and I'm sure you've seen it from the Rivals transfer. I can never say transfer portal right from Rivals.com. They gave every SEC team a grade or every big team a grade, and on May 15th of 2024, their transfer portal grade. Have you seen this? They gave Tennessee a D.
Yep.
A D in that transfer portal. Great. And let me name the players that came from the transfer portal that they gave a D of. Lance Hurd, Jermod McCoy, Chris Brazzell, Jackson Moy, Jalen McMurray, Miles Kitselman.
Just terrible guys.
That was a D. That's nuts.
This is actually one of the reasons I think Tennessee could succeed, could even be better. Okay, take our blue chip ratio. I think it's 50 something, which ranks around like 17th in the country. It's fairly middle of the pack in terms of you take the top 25 blue chip ratio. But here, take into the scout. Joey Aguilar is viewed as one of the worst players in our class, one of the worst scholarship athletes we have. I think he's pretty damn good. Miles Kitselman, based on just recruiting stuff, he's one of the worst players in that class or on our roster. I think he's pretty damn good. Jermod McCoy, pretty much, I think the country would say he's the best defensive back maybe in college football.
First round draft pick.
He's viewed as basically a scrub crap player in terms of just recruiting stuff. So if you take that into account and say those guys are borderline 5 stars, Tennessee's roster is actually pretty damn good. A lot of diamonds in the rough. Heupel's been, I mean, hell, Deshaun Bishop, that's another player that's viewed as like a scrub. Star Thomas, scrub. But like, I mean, they don't look like scrubs to me. I think Heupel's found a lot of diamonds in the rough, and it really shows you how high the ceiling could be this season. I think.
So would you give him all the credit in the world for knowing how to find talent?
Yeah, I would. I mean, great staff too.
Yeah, it's starting. The longer this plays out, and listen, I don't know how Heupel's tenure is going to end up here. So far, it's pretty damn good.
He went to the playoffs with that quarterback you saw at UCLA last night.
Yeah,
or Saturday night. Yeah, that shows you how kind of coach he is.
and I know depth this year. We're still building depth, and the depth could be an issue this year if we keep getting injured. We've had a couple injuries uh, this past game that's going to keep a couple guys out for a little bit. But Jackson Moy, I know for sure is going to miss next game. And was it Jalen McMurray? Was it McMurray who?
I think
who got hurt? Who got hurt? I came across.
Nathan Robinson got hurt. He was in a boot, but I think he could have played if he had to. But
Who's out
Bryson Easton was shaken up. David Sanders?
No, they're out for an extended period of time. I'll come
Jackson
across
Moy?
it.
Jackson Moy?
Jackson Moy's out next game. He's not out.
Hold on.
It's a secondary player. Anyway, but a testament to Josh Heupel for real, and we'll see how it plays out with him in the long run.
Oh, Jermon McCoy?
No, it's not Jermon McCoy.
Oh, yes, he's still out. Oh, Ricky Gibson.
Ricky Gibson, that's it. Ricky Gibson, that is it.
I think he'll be back next week.
No, Josh Heupel literally just said he's out for an extended period of time. So we'll see how that plays out too as well. But Josh Heupel and I just got a text from our buddy Jordan Moore, and I haven't watched the video that he just sent me, but I could just read the screen. Josh Heupel is adjusting his offense to fit what it has to do to compete against good teams, and we did say this in one of the previous podcasts, but Josh Heupel has started to adjust the way he does things, and this is why I think people are starting to get frustrated when people keep saying it's a gimmicky offense. Dude, this is not a gimmicky offense. Like, he's starting to adjust to the way he plays, and it's showing. That drives me nuts.
It's an offense that's designed on getting athletes wide open and getting first downs. I don't think the whole offense is designed to score points. I don't know what I mean. Yeah, I get what they're saying. The fast pace or the run pass crap, but it's more traditional than people want to admit. They just kind of they see a few things and they jump to conclusions. But if you really go through the film and stuff, it's basically a pretty normal offense that just is. We have a few little quirks to it.
What's the thing in the NCAA video games that you pick when you when you want your offense to be the exact same as your run pass is equal? What is that called when you're picking like
run pass ratio?
No. It's when you're in the game and you're picking balanced offense. We had almost the exact same amount of passing yards as rushing yards in this game against Syracuse. Almost the identical amount. So to say that we're a gimmicky offense, man, that's just the weirdest thing ever, because if you're on a gimmicky offense, a air raid, as a lot of people will call it, you're not rushing for that many yards. Josh Heupel's teams really rush for more yards than any team in the SEC almost every year. Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
No, that's legit.
No. So I just think that's always a funny thing.
Hey, you want to talk about depth? We are struggling with injuries at a lot of positions. Running back ain't it. We got 3 running backs that can all, be starter quality in my opinion. So I really like that. I think that our rushing ceiling is really high this season because we can just trade guys in and out and always have a guy with fresh legs to run at you. Man, Deshaun Bishop looks so good. That 3rd and 10 screen pass, that was like a lot of the creativity I felt like we were missing.
Adjusting. We threw a screen. We don't ever do that.
Not right in front of the line of scrimmage like that.
No, we don't. So that was pretty to see that. Like, how many times have we been screaming, throw a damn screen? Because so many teams do it against us, and it kills us.
Do you think Heupel and company, heard a lot of the noise of, this was Alex Gollish's work while we were good in 22 and 21?
Oh, well, of course, yeah, he hears all that. They all hear all that.
I think they really well. I think they have a quarterback who can actually take things and put it into action. That's nice. I mean, I can't wait to see what we have for Georgia. Yeah,
because next week is going to be an easy win. It's going to be freaking 65-0 or 65. I'm not going to say nothing, but our defense, they do need to fix some things on defense for real. because in that second half, the other coach for Syracuse, he adjusted, and we didn't have an answer.
We just we I mean Arion Carter went out. We
Mm-hmm.
had walk-ons out in the defensive back room, out in the backfield, but I think that was really the main issue. We were just hurt.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing that does bother me about this team and everything. It's
I
like
mean,
we're always so injured.
I
Why
mean,
are we always injured?
this is the
Always
most injured I can remember.
well, but we're always injured every year. We're always talking about
I don't
injuries.
know. This is. I mean, D line last year. I thought we were pretty healthy the whole year, but this is like Dominic Bailey played 60 something snaps from the D tackle position. That's not. I don't like hearing that because it's a defensive end who's having to play not his position for way too many snaps. Like last year, I don't think we had a guy play that many snaps in any game at D line. We just need to get healthy there. I thought Nathan Robinson looked great. You're hopefully you get Jackson Moy back by the Georgia game. Hopefully Bryce Neeson can be 100% healthy. Hopefully you can. I think we should get some of these freshmen some work. We need to get Isaiah Campbell out there. We need to get Ethan Utley out there. I want to trade out with those guys. I think losing Omar Norman Lott was a bigger loss than we thought, and
Oh yeah.
losing Omari Thomas. I think we are still good at D line, but it's a little step down from last season.
What's a player? Who's a player that popped out to you in this first game? A player
Dude,
that
Ty
just
Redmond looked great. He
yes,
looked athletic. He looked great.
yeah.
That shocked me. He played 60 snaps. That's an 18-year-old true freshman. And Syracuse actually had decent receivers. They had good receivers. And I thought that guy shocked me how he could just play that entire game like that.
We heard all the reports in camp about Colton Hood. Every report in camp. Our buddy Josh from Collectibles and More, he's really good friends with Joey Aguilar, and he told me on the phone the other day that when Joey's in practice, he always looks to find out where Colton Hood is on the field. And you hear all that, and you're like, all right, we'll have to see. Well, we saw on Saturday, Colton Hood is a player. And so when Jermon McCoy comes back, you got to find somewhere to put him on the field. Like he's got to be on the field.
Colton Hood, another mediocre get from the transfer portal. My God, we get some good players from there.
But his timing and his just he's always around the ball. He was so quick. He's so quick to think. He didn't even think. He was just there. He didn't overthink. He just did it. That's not like just like Joey Aguilar. Yes.
Dude, Nathan Robinson looked good to me too.
Yes.
That's I don't think he's a walk on, but he's wasn't a highly touted recruit. Another guy I was just very impressed with that. I mean, he got hurt too, but hopefully he can be back 100%. I thought he could go back in the game maybe in the fourth quarter if he had to, but he didn't have to.
Lance Hurd.
Lance Hurd looks so good compared to last year. Dude, that whole line looked good. I was so impressed with the line.
Did you see that one video that some analyst posted of our who was running the ball? I think it was Star Thomas. I can't remember who it was, but both of our offensive linemen stood up and just took out their blockers, and he just burst right to the hole. He just pancaked them basically. Just ran to the hole. So yeah, that is a big change from last season. The offensive line looked a whole lot better. Got to stay healthy. A lot of positives came out of this game. Going back to Joey Aguilar, you love to see the quarterback that doesn't overthink. You love to see, like, I just love that when their stuff broke down, he just took off. He just took off. Or when stuff was breaking down.
I like when he didn't take off actually sometimes because Nico first read covered. I'm running. Forget that I have a wide open dude running down this post here. But the first guy I was looking at was covered, so I'm just bailing out of this. Dude, my favorite part was when him and Jordan or Star Thomas, his first read was bad, his second read was bad, so he ran outside the pocket. He got Star Thomas to run up the side and throw it to him like a wide receiver. That was so impressive. When that last touchdown he threw to Miles Kinselman, he the rush broke down, the running back blew his block, and he was about to get sacked, and he already knew he was throwing to Kinselman, but he let Kinselman get fully into his motion and didn't panic and throw it too soon. He waited as long as he could and got the ball off. Yeah, that's just a grown man back there, man. That's a guy. He's so like him being big too is a big plus. That guy can take a hit. That guy
Yeah.
can have a guy on him. Like he can have a Ben Roethlisberger effect where he can, a guy can get his hands on him, but he can still throw the ball.
It reminds me of Baker Mayfield a little
He does remind me of Baker Mayfield,
bit.
who was
Mhm.
also a walk on, just saying.
Well,
That no one thought
what I'm
should
going
have.
what I'm going back to though, and what I mean by that, I didn't mean like he's like Nico, where his first read is done and he's gone. I meant like when it breaks down, he just doesn't sit back there and take a sack. Like he improvises, like you said earlier in the podcast. He improvises, he makes something happen. And I'm so after Joe Milton and after Nico, I was so fatigued with watching quarterbacks just stand up in the pocket like a statue and just take the hit. And this guy doesn't do that. Joey does not do that. He sees stuff happening and he doesn't allow the bad things to start happening. He tries to make a play before it starts to happen. When Nico was back there, he just let bad things happen. He's let dumb things happen to him. You get killed back there. And I don't and the offensive line did play a whole lot better. But when you have a quarterback that stands back there and can improvise and do things with his legs, it makes your offensive line look so much better.
You know, Heupel, and I give Heupel a lot of praise. I mean, hell, I think he's great, one of the best coaches in the country. But does it say something about him that in my I mean, I guess we've only seen one game from Joey, so we don't know.
Even
But
yeah.
I'd say I think this is going to be the second best quarterback Heupel's had. Would you say that at Tennessee?
We'll see. We'll see. But
But
he
you
has
think
the
he'll be better than Nico last year and Joe
oh
his
God. Anybody's maybe better than Nico last year.
and Joe?
Yes, he's better than both of those
Okay, so
guys.
he's the second best quarterback Heupel's had at Tennessee.
Yeah, you could say that.
Okay.
But like you, yeah,
So the
yeah.
two best quarterbacks he's had, one he had a guy over him and that guy got injured, so he was forced to use Hooker. That's how Hooker ended up being the starter. And obviously this season we plan for Nico to be the starter, but Nico's family's crazy, so he hit the portal, and we had to scramble and get the only guy with experience that was available. So the two best quarterbacks Heupel's had here were guys he had didn't really plan on starting.
Mm-hmm.
Does that say something about him? Or and I if it does, I think that should be a sign to him that maybe how you evaluate and how you find quarterbacks needs to change a little bit.
Well, he's come from programs. I mean, he's came from Oklahoma. He's come from Missouri, UCF, but now he's at the helm. And the adjustment comment that we said earlier about how he seems to be adjusting with the flow of how things are going. I could agree with you on that. Yes, I could see him changing the way he recruits quarterbacks based on just being. You got to be at the top of the SEC. You can't have a quarterback. I'm trying to figure out where I'm going with this, but I agree with what you're saying. Like you
I
have.
like having a 23-year-old plus quarterback or a 22 year old plus quarterback. I like a guy that's already been through the struggles, you know?
Well,
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
I
Which I
don't
mean,
mind
we're
it.
obviously going to start a 19-year-old at oldest next season. But
Well, yeah, I mean, but I don't mind it if they're like if they're a player that just if Faison Brandon or McIntyre or Merker, one of them guys, you just they can come in and they're just they can make plays, kind of like Joey can just improvise. You need an improviser, and Josh Heupel's offense. You need an improviser. You got to have one. Any quarterback in the country that can improvise and get out of the pocket and move and do stuff when stuff breaks down, those teams win. That's what winning teams do. I mean, you see right now, I mean, how South Carolina's so hyped up right now because of Sellers because he can move. He can do things with his legs. You have Lagway down in Florida. They're highly touted. They're thinking Florida's going to be really good. I don't think they are because their schedule. But Lagway can move, can get out of the pocket with his legs. He gets injured a lot. But Baker Mayfield, all those guys, man, those teams are so hard to beat when you have a quarterback that can move. It's so hard to win. It's so hard to for another team to come into your house or you go somewhere else and not you got to cover that quarterback. You got to focus on that guy, and it opens so many things.
My
And
my
so,
thing is that a lot of the I watched a lot of college football this weekend, and
mhm.
some of the best quarterback play I saw was from older dudes. Haynes King, uh,
God, he's a beast.
Carson Beck looks like he's improved in a lot of ways from his time at Georgia. Uh, and I don't know, just from
But yeah,
where we came from, I like having an experienced guy now, and that's really I think we can be good this year, man. I think Florida and Alabama are both winnable games now. Uh, do you think okay, after what you just saw from Alabama, is Alabama a must-win game now?
is it a must-win game?
Yes.
I don't think it's a must-win. I
Is
mean,
this I think the
you,
season's
you,
disappointing if you don't beat them.
I think, yeah. Well, like you said, and we're going to get to this in a second to close out the podcast with Week 1 overreactions. But the biggest jump for teams is from Week 1 to Week 2. That's the biggest jump because they get in a rhythm.
I don't know.
Because you,
There's a lot of Alabama fans that are taking big jumps right now.
but but I'm serious though because you saw in almost every football game that came on TV this weekend that it started out slow. It looked like no one had a rhythm. And so the biggest jump is from week 1 to week 2. We'll find out if Alabama can adjust. I don't think they will. I think they suck. I think that they have a quarterback problem. They're already wanting, their fans are already wanting their backup in. After a one game, they're already wanting changes at quarterback. And that
Quarterback's
is
not their biggest issue.
no, it's not. Their offensive line and defensive line were getting pushed around like babies.
They got a wide receiver painting his fingernails and holding a baby giraffe doll walking into a game, and they went from crazy Tony to that. Man, it's a they
It's
got players getting DoorDash fast food at 2 in the morning, bringing buddies over. It's just they're going from the most like high discipline culture in college football to just basically a bunch of idiots in a clubhouse. I mean,
yeah.
I'm telling you that when they started bringing whatever his name, Willie, whatever, I don't give a piss about nothing but the side, that guy. When they were bringing that guy to every practice and making him like the
Oh
mayor of
yeah.
some crap, that
Oh
was a
yeah.
sign to me like, what the hell? Like, I get wanting to be a little more fun than the last guy. I get it. I get it. You want to be different. You want to say, hey, I'm not going to be the drill sergeant. I'm your cool uncle, blah, 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 kind of crap like that. But dude, when you start dipping your toes in that stuff, then you just kind of lose control, especially coming from the crazy big culture. And I really do think there's a factor of there's a lot of guys on that roster that think I play for the University of Alabama.
Hmm.
I'm going to be great and don't earn it and don't earn it. I mean, don't have the grit, don't know how to grind through it all. I think that program best
It
case scenario for them is 9-3.
we shall see. We shall see. And that's what I meant earlier when I said when I quote tweeted those tweets that they're sending out like like for example here's the bringing the silly Twitter YouTuber guy to practice to be funny. Here's that part of the here's that part of that phase of the program, and then the next phase is like, oh, our coach is doing silly things. That phase, like they're going, like they showed phases throughout the off season where you're like, oh, they're going through this phase now. Oh, they're going through that phase now, and then they get to the season, and it's like it makes sense now. It makes sense now.
You saw a little bit of this last year, but there was enough culture there to hold them together. I think Milrow maybe was. I criticized the hell out of him, but I think he might have been a little better than I guess we gave him credit for. I mean, hell, they beat the crap out of they beat Georgia pretty solidly, but
But that's when they had confidence.
yeah,
They still had confidence. You saw that with Butch Jones when the players first started playing for Butch Jones. They had all the confidence in the world, and then what happened? It started to take a nosedive when all the stupid silliness started to happen. Like
dude.
you said it earlier. We've seen this before, firsthand. We've seen this before, and I am hoping that this is what's happening because I am going to get my popcorn. I'm going to sit on the couch and I'm going to laugh
You know what's a hilarious
my
part of that?
ass off.
What's a hilarious part of it all is they got their ass beat by the Gus bus again.
Cuss him
And
out
Squirrel
loud.
White is 3-1 against Alabama.
I know. I
Squirrel
know.
White, uh, someone posted a picture of him and like where he's smoking a cigar after beating them like last season. They added it to a FSU jersey. Um,
It's really funny
and he
though.
posted on Instagram.
There was a video that came up of Squirrel White like dancing, and he was like holding his balls, like doing a little thing, like doing that. He's like holding his balls, like we got big balls, y'all got little ones. Like it was really funny. Like I don't dislike Squirrel White. He just transferred because
No, I get it.
I don't dislike Squirrel White.
I mean, still
uh,
probably had 0 yards after catch, but whatever.
no, he did. Then his first no, the first thing I looked up on the screen is him catching a deep ball. And he fell straight to the ground.
Dude, it's like it's almost like he thinks he needs his feet to catch the ball.
Yeah. Well,
like,
he's little.
like he's like
He's little.
Pikachu or something. Um,
It's pretty good though. All right, we got about 14, 15 minutes left. Let's like review week one. I want the overreactions. What are we overreacting about the most? What do you think the world is overreacting about the most right now in college football after 1 week of seeing every team play? God, that was fun. That was so much fun.
I don't think Miami's that good.
You don't think Miami's that good? Okay.
They could have won that game actually by a lot more if they were not idiots. But yeah, I think it would not shock me at all to see them lose to USF in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they'll still be Mark Cristobal Miami. They'll blow some games. I think Carson Beck looked better than he did at Georgia a lot of time, but he still didn't blow me away. He overthrew a lot of receivers. Which I know you
He had a
said
lot of good
Joey
passes
did too,
too.
but
Yeah.
I never really liked him as a quarterback. I don't know why.
Yeah.
He's one of those
See,
guys that like, oh, a big NFL future, like, but in college it's just not that great because this isn't the NFL.
I will tell you one thing, and I'm not overreacting about this, but that Miami has, holy crap!
Odell
Like
Beckham.
not the guy that caught that one. Like not the guy that caught the one-handed one going to the end zone. I'm talking about the small guy. He's a freshman. He's like 3-star. He's so fast. What is that guy's name? I can't remember. I'm about to look up the stats. But what is your overreaction? Is it an overreaction right now to Arch Manning? Is that an overreaction?
Yes and no. I it kind of reminded me of the SEC championship game Georgia played against Texas last year. Quinn Ewers couldn't get anything going. I mean, Ohio State's an elite defense, but I do think there's a lot of things were major red flags. Like he didn't look comfortable at all. He didn't look like he were, knew the system well. It's crazy to be honest.
Was it the fact that he was playing Ohio State at Ohio State for his like first actually really big game?
Yeah, that is of course that's of course a factor. But
Yeah.
also I think you can take that into account and still say there were some things that are just you shouldn't have had a problem with. Like um I don't know. It'll be interesting going forward. I got to see them play a middle of the pack team. Like
I think he's getting absolutely buried right now for like it's a little much. Like
that
come on.
sidearm throw though. What the
I
hell are
know.
you
Yeah.
doing? And he throws so many other feet.
Yeah. I do think it might be a little overreaction. He like had all the hype coming in. He's probably like really. They had the interview where they're like, "Are you nervous before a game?" He goes, "Yeah, I get a little bit nervous, but once that ball is hiked, I'm not nervous at all anymore." But you look nervous. You looked real nervous once that ball was hiked in that game. By the way, that wide receiver for Miami, Malachi Tony is his name. He's number 10. That
Hmm.
little guy, he was so fast and shifty, and that guy's going to be so good. He's a freshman. That's his first game. So, and that guy was a beast. Um, but I do think the Arch Manning thing is a little overblown. A little
Yeah,
overblown. What did you think about also Ohio State only scoring 14 points when Texas couldn't do jack on offense?
I wasn't that impressed with Ohio State. I mean, of course, Texas has great defense, but I, I mean, it's the Big Ten, so who the hell knows? There's a lot of teams like kind of like Ohio State spot where there's a really talented roster, but offensively they just are kind of lackluster for the most part. They have a lot of great parts to them, but who knows how good they are? Like when push comes to shove in a big game. Um,
Here's
you
here's
know,
here's here's another take. Go ahead. Are you about to say something?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Another take. I think LSU sucks.
Sucks.
I don't think not sucks. I think they're not very good. I think Clemson's not. I think Clemson sucks.
I
What?
don't
What?
know.
We need to study the downfall of Dabo.
Downfall of Dabo.
The downfall of Dabo. He went from one of the best coaches in
It's
the
pretty easy to tell you how
country,
it is. The sport changed and he refused to adjust. That's the whole story there.
and you get over this Cade Klubnik crap. Like, I'm so sick of hearing this kid's name. That dude is not good. He hasn't been good.
Pretty average. Yeah, he's
Very
always. This is how I feel about a lot of 5-star quarterbacks. Like, I'm just not blown away. Like, what am I supposed to be watching that's so unreal? Like, I get hyped up like Garrett Nussmeier, Cade Klubnik, Dylan Raiola, freaking Ty Simpson. These guys are hyped to no win. Nico, and then they get out there and they just look like
average.
Like, yeah, there's no moment and there's no rhyme or rhythm to their offense. It's just like they eventually their offense always goes into a like, okay, let's just run up the middle kind of deal, because we can't get a pass to a receiver.
Yeah. Yeah. What about Florida 55-0? I know they played LIU.
You play
55.
LIU.
They should, exactly.
They played Long Island University. I can't take a thing away from that. Just like I cannot take a thing away when we beat the hell out of ETSU.
I know Texas Tech played Arkansas Pine Bluff, but they hung 67 on them. Do you think Texas Tech is going to be a good team? They're fun.
Yeah, they're a fun team.
I think they'll be fun to watch.
Who the hell knows? But they
Vanderbilt
probably contend in the Big 12.
Vanderbilt sold out their stadium.
That might be the craziest thing I've ever seen. I mentioned last year, like I've never like they're showing the College Football 26 intro to Vandy's stadium, and their fans like, man, they really nailed this. I'm like, how'd they nail it? It's a bunch of black and gold in the stands. What the hell is this? I've never seen that before. Yeah, it's actually pretty blown away. They actually have that many fans. Like, I actually did question that. Do they have that many fans?
Did they actually sell all those tickets? You think?
I mean, it was every shot. I might have saw a shot with the corners a little empty, but for the most part, that's an amazing crowd for a Vandy home opener against the FCS opponent. Yeah, Theo Vaughn TikToking on the sidelines or whatever, Instagram, whatever. Don't know why I mean, I guess he's just. That's a good marketing ploy to get Theo Vaughn on their side. I'll be honest, Clark Lee. I'm gonna make fun of Vandy because we'll kill him. I mean, we're gonna out talent them, and the big boys will always own them, pretty much. But Clark Lee's done an amazing job there, about as good job as anyone could do at that spot. And he's done a lot of smart things. I gotta give him credit there. Like that's the kind of approach Kentucky needs to have right now. Yeah.
Speaking of Kentucky.
Oh man, that's the end. That's the end. That needs
24-16. They've won against Toledo.
Dude, they won. They won
24-16, a touchdown. Basically.
I saw that score. I saw that game. I was like, that's gonna be a nail biter. Before kickoff, I said this game that is a coin flip game. I that's my expectations for Kentucky football in 2025. The fact that they won, that's good. That was good. That no one should be upset by that. That was a good performance. They won, guys. Yeah. You are Kentucky and you beat an opponent. That's mission accomplished. Every week, if you win a game 2-0, you should be just crying your eyes out if you're a Kentucky fan, because that's an amazing job for the expectations I have for that team. They are going to go 4-8, 5-7. That's how it is.
They're going to be bad. My God.
Yes, absolutely. It's in. I mean, even Mark Stoops. Any interview I see of them, it's just like, okay, when am I done here?
That has got to be like if you are an avid, like a legitimate Kentucky football fan, like if you are just the biggest diehard fan, this has got to be like draining to you. Like I know you've been bad, and like you're gonna have those fans that are like, "Wow, my foreigner, he got here, we were this and that. And this is how Kentucky football was." But you get to a certain point where you're like, "Good God, this is getting exhausting to watch every year."
Do you know what the death nail in the Mark Stoops era coffin was about a couple weeks ago when they announced the SEC is going to a 9-game schedule. You can't get another win over friggin' Missouri State. No, that's not happening anymore. So that's 7-5, not happening. I mean, you had a little time there with Liam Cohen as the OC, and uh, despite all we say, Will Levis was actually pretty electric there for where they put their expectations, and they had good D line play with a bunch of underrated recruits from Florida. Uh, you had that fun running back Beatty or whatever his name was, but it was a fun little time y'all had run like trying to get every secondary recruit in the state of Ohio, but it's I don't know where you go. I don't know I don't have advice for Kentucky football fans. Try and I know teams can be different conferences for different sports. So if you don't want to be the bottom of the pack here, you probably need to go to Big 12. They'd be a fun Big 12 school. They would.
Well, by the way, Kentucky's got Ole Miss next week. Ole Miss. Georgia's got Austin.
Do you remember what happened last season
with Ole Miss and Kentucky?
Yeah,
Kentucky beat Ole Miss, right?
The biggest win in the Mark Stoops era, and they went 4-8.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a time, man.
Well, we got ETSU next week, and then Georgia's got Austin Peay. So we get two cupcake games in a row with Georgia.
I kind of liked Syracuse as the start because like that was
me too.
They gave you that seems better than a game. They were better than NC State last year.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was a good test. It's not a bad test. That's not a cupcake.
If that's Nico in the pocket, how do you think that game goes?
I was going to ask you that same question earlier, but I forgot to. If we switch quarterbacks again and we don't have Joey, how does that game go? I think it's a nail biter.
It's interesting.
It's a nail biter. It's a nail biter.
Yeah, I mean,
because we won't be able to score 45 points.
No, we wouldn't have.
We'd be in the 30s.
We really wouldn't have.
We'd
had to settle for field goals a lot of the time.
Yeah.
We would have probably gotten the red zone, but we would have settled for field goals because Nico cannot operate close to the goal line. He can only okay. I put all the you screwed up your own career, dude. You screwed up. This is on you. At the same time, I do feel for him because I know that culture. I've heard about it, and like I do know he didn't. For the most part, I don't think he wanted to do this.
Don't care.
He still is liking all the posts of his teammates. I don't feel bad for him. No, I don't.
I do.
But
I don't.
But also, it's also like, man, what a dickhead that dad is to just give him the worst advice in the face of the earth and just not let the kid be his own man. And I don't think they'll ever learn from their mistakes and let him do things on his own. And I know it's weird. If you grew up with a little bit of controlling parents, you would understand this a little differently. And it is on him. It is on him. But also, I do understand where he's coming from. When you grow up there, and literally, it's like you'll be ostracized from your family if you disagree with your father. Like that's a pretty big influencer, especially in that culture. So I understand where he's coming from. But his dad is a piece of shit. I really do think he's a piece of shit.
Here's my take. Like, you're right, but like I the whole like I feel sorry for him. Shut up. Like, no, I don't. I do not. You did this to yourself. You didn't come to practice. You left. That was on you, man. That's on you. That's not on your dad. That's you not coming to practice. That is you.
You are right about that.
And I don't care. Like, bye. You screwed up your entire career. You could have had a say in it. You're a man. Like, you could have been like, no, I want to stay here. I don't care what your father says. Like, this is your life now. You're an adult. And I know their culture, whatever. Did you see fat ass Nick walking off the field at the UCLA game? He looked so defeated. And I loved it. I was like, I hope you're defeated. I hope he was walking almost like with his head down. There was no one in the crowd. Like, absolutely no one. And then
everyone said that was a terrible crowd. Have they not seen UCLA football? That's the best crowd they can hope for.
Yeah, and then you have Nico's quote at the end of the game. Everything we want is still ahead of us. It's only week one, buddy. You're screwed. That team
Yeah, he just-
sucks.
Oh yeah,
Sucks.
I mean, yeah, we kind of knew that. It's just a terrible situation. They're going to play the Big Ten, like they're going to go.
doo-doo.
I
So
mean, I mean, I don't think Utah's that good, and they got their ass beat by them.
they got destroyed. And this whole, I've heard people like, all right, you get your one ex quarterback moment of this season. Hell no, it's going to be all season. I'm going to love it. It's going to be everyone torching this dude.
What do you think about Missouri losing their quarterback in week 1?
I did not know that. I did not know that.
Went out for the year.
But
that guy last year, I can't think of his name, but Sam Horn, was that his name?
Yeah, Sam Horn.
He's out for the year. I just think it's tidbits. What's the big game next week? What's the biggest game on the slate?
I haven't even looked at next week. I know that our opponent in 2 weeks, Georgia, like I said, plays Austin Peay. Kentucky plays Ole Miss. I think it's one of those
Michigan, Oklahoma.
Michigan, Oklahoma. Yeah, this would be pretty good. I want to see
Vandy,
that.
Virginia Tech. God, didn't UL Monroe beat Alabama one time?
In 2008.
7? Yeah, 8.
No, that was Raging Cajuns, wasn't it?
I think it was UL Monroe. Yeah, it was
No,
UL
I think you're
Monroe.
right. It was UL Monroe.
Alabama's a 35.5-point favorite right now. I don't think that'll happen, but could you imagine? Just take a minute to imagine. Do they fire him that night? I mean, do they? I mean, they might call the KKK and get some crosses burning in the yard.
I don't know.
But yeah, next week is actually pretty underwhelming outside.
No, it's you always get that first week that is like a stud star week. There's no really ranked on.
USF Florida.
That'd be interesting.
Man, USF, their first 3 games are Boise State, Florida, and Miami.
Mm-hmm. I'm intrigued.
Arizona State, Mississippi State. Sorry,
I'm intrigued. The Vandy and Virginia Tech game.
Where's game day going to be? I think I said know. Michigan.
But yeah, that's underwhelming next week. But we'll see. We'll find out.
Did you see Kansas State? Sorry,
I didn't. They look terrible.
They lost to in Dublin. So you remember that? Yeah. But the next week they played home opener against the University of North Dakota.
They looked terrible.
And they had to pull off a miracle win in overtime.
Mm-hmm. They looked bad. They looked bad. But we'll do this again next week. We get to kind of have a better picture of the Georgia-Tennessee game. This is what we'll talk about next week after Georgia and Tennessee both have cupcake games before they face off and get to that SEC schedule.
I want to play no one.
Yeah.
I literally just want to play like the bunch of freshmen this week. I want to play the little players as we can because we need to get healthy on defense. We need Ricky Gibson back. We need Moy back. We need Staley healthy. We need Don Bailey not playing that much. We need Carter.
I don't know about Ricky Gibson though, so I don't know if he'll be back by Georgia.
I understand Heupel's, keeping everything close to the vest, but I do hate not knowing things.
Well,
I like to know everything.
But he literally told you in that interview that Jackson will be out next game, and that Gibson will be out for extended period of time.
Yeah, but like we didn't. Yeah, well, I don't know. We didn't know about Sanders until like last second. So
yeah. But anyway, we'll get more into it next week. It's been a fun show. We had a lot to go back and forth with because of opening week, baby. It's football time. It is football time. Football is back, and we got a lot.
It's football everywhere, but the state of Alabama.
We have podcasts till here until February to talk about football. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Welcome back, my friends.
Are we beating ATSU? We need to get predictions.
I would say so.
I don't know, man. Caden McNamara, year 17. The guy who beat Joe Milton down at Michigan is their starting QB. Sorry, I'm dragging this out. We'll beat ETSU.
Yeah, you're dragging it out like a freaking slug. All right, well, we'll do it again for the 50th freaking time. We're going to end this podcast. But anyways, goodbye. Go Vols. God bless. Peace out, my friends. Austin doesn't know how to shut up.